What's going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J-Money here, bringing you guys the topic of the video. I got banned. I got put on the Konami suspended players list and all the good stuff for cheating, apparently. So, a lot of you know what this is already going to be about and what this dates back to, but there is a lot of people who don't at the same time. So I want to go ahead and just make an official video about this because I just now got banned. Weirdly enough, this dates all the way back to March, but I'm just now getting banned 6 months later. So wait, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, 6 months later. Weird. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, this dates all the way back to YCS Salt Lake City back in March. This was when Pendulums were still the best deck, and True Dracos was not too far behind. So, I'm doing incredibly good at this event, playing World Chalice as usual. I will, obviously play that at every event I go to. And I was doing incredibly good until I played True Dracos the last 3 rounds. I won against the first one, lost against the second one, and here I am, we're at round 10. And the winner of that match gets to go to day 2. And all the good stuff. So, surprise, surprise, none of us win. We end in a draw. And all that good stuff. So, it was a bummer, but, it's whatever. But here's where it starts to get worse. As I'm writing and signing my match slip down, my opponent asked me if I'm sure that I want to settle for a draw. He asked it just like that. Are you sure you want to settle for a draw? And I'm like, huh? I'm trying to figure out what's going on because I'm like, there's no other options. At least I didn't think there was. And so I asked him what he was talking about. And so then he starts to go into this thing. He says, oh, there's this thing called collusion. Now, right at that point, according to a bunch of players, that's an automatic red flag because they know what that is and they know it's illegal. But the thing is, I didn't know what that was, and I didn't know it was illegal because this is only my 3rd YCS I have been to, and it's never happened to me before. Granted, I probably should have connected the dots. Hey, it's probably never happened to you before because it's probably not legal. But I didn't think of that because I'm just confused because I'm seeing this as maybe this is an actual viable option for me to go to day 2. So I hear him out, and so I asked him what collusion was. And he says, it's where one player offers another player money in exchange for the win. And so at this point, I start to get a little bit more optimistic because I'm thinking, okay, maybe he spent a little too much money at YCS or whatnot, and he needs a little extra cash so he can get home, X, Y. It's whatever. So I'm already thinking that it's clear that this guy does it and didn't offer to pay me any money or whatever or any of that stuff. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought up the conversation in a way to where it invites me to make an offer. Because according to judges and stuff, the moment an offer is made, the player can call a judge. So keep in mind, I still don't know that this was illegal. And I didn't even know what collusion was until this guy brought it up. So I'm optimistic and just randomly decided to throw a $60 offer out there. Now, right as I do that, he decides to just do a complete 180 and just go, oh, I'm sorry, I don't give away wins for money. Judge does it literally just like that immediately. And so I'm still confused as to what's going on. So I ask him, is there a problem? And he says, trying to bribe another player results in an automatic game loss. So at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So you knew this because we had a conversation earlier, and he was a judge or a former judge, either or. So he knew this was wrong and took advantage of the fact that I didn't, and used his knowledge of a judge to his advantage to try and cheese out a win and all that good stuff. So, luckily for me, it wasn't as bad because I probably would have gotten banned for much longer, but right now I'm only banned for 6 months. So what happened was after the judges came over and said, "Oh, this guy tried to he tried to pay me money for a win," and I'm thinking, "Whoa, what are you talking about? You brought up this conversation and all that." And he was like, "Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't." And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make sure his ass gets banned and all that stuff. And it's not being spiteful. It's just the fact that this guy is clearly trying to screw other people over and screw players out of it. So I get interrogated twice by judges, and so as that was happening, I made absolutely certain that, hey, I did not know what any of this stuff was until this guy brings it up, and until he brings it to light. You know, this guy is clearly trying to bait hook me and trying to bait me into getting an automatic game loss so he could get the win so we can move on to day 2, because we, surprise, surprise, went in a draw and all that good stuff. So what makes it even better in my case is that there were players right next to me who caught wind of this unfolding. They saw the whole thing go down, and so they fought on my behalf, saying, yeah, this guy clearly was just baiting him into doing this stuff, and it didn't seem like he knew what was going on and all that stuff. And so what made it even worse for that guy was the fact that there was other players that I had previously was talking to who had him as an opponent and was trying to do the same thing to them. So he's been doing this all day maliciously, trying to bait people into trying to offer things so he can just cheese free wins for no reason and all that good stuff. And so I made that known to the judges and all that good stuff, and so they got him disqualified too. I got disqualified, and so I had to fill out this disqualification form. Now, and a lot of the groups I was talking to, a lot of people say when you fill out that form, that means you're getting banned and all that good stuff. And so I started freaking out, and I went and talked to the judges about this and asked, hey, if I fill out this form, I don't want to fill out this form if it means I can get banned. And the head judge was saying how the reason why a lot of people get banned is when they don't fill out the form, they're not giving themselves a chance to defend themselves, X and Y. And so, you know, the judge assured me that it was obviously clear signs of foul play, which, you know, surprise, surprise, I was a victim of, and all that stuff. You know, they suspended me, but they said generally if you're getting banned, they wouldn't even allow me back in the venue, but they let me come back to the venue the next day, and all that stuff. So, but they still had to suspend me, or not suspend me, but disqualify me for the whole event, so I couldn't do any side events or any of that other stuff. And, well, surprise, surprise, 6 months later, I still end up getting banned and all that. And I understand why. It goes back to what the judge says. So it's like, even though you didn't know, you know, Konami still has to enforce some kind of penalty. They still have to enforce it, because if they start letting things go, then that shows signs of favoritism, X and Y. Things start being unfair across the board, because if they let me go, they have to let this person go, and this person go, and this person go. And so they have to enforce something. You know, that's completely understandable. Now, what does that mean for me? Because for 6 months, I can't really go and do locals and all that stuff unless it's some non-OTS, or I don't even know jack squat about ARGs. I don't even know if I'll end up doing that, but what does that mean for me? Well, I'm still going to content create, guys. There's no doubt about it. I still know all kinds of people. I can still... luckily, getting suspended doesn't mean I can't go online and just, you know, stay in the loop and all that stuff and keep up with the news and all the good stuff. Now, granted, it'll be a little bit harder because this is something I love to do. I love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Takes up a lot of my time, truth be told. I go to like 4 locals a week. I'll go like sometimes on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and all that good stuff. It's what gives me amazing content to make for you guys regarding just all sorts of weird decks that I end up building and all that stuff. You know, now, you know, it's going to be a lot harder to do that because I can't really just build the most wacky deck and take it to a locals and see if it works or not before I even decide to post about it and all that stuff. So, locals. It always played a huge part of my week and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna take this time to now I can actually, you know, focus on getting me a PC and all that good stuff, so I can maybe start live streaming and all that other stuff. At least try to figure that stuff out. At least, I mean, I'm still gonna buy product. I'm definitely still gonna buy a case of what's his name? Soul Fusion. Yes, that's it. So I'm still gonna do all of that. I'm gonna do everything I've been doing except go to locals because sad face, I can't. And all the good stuff. I will be eligible to do all that stuff come March. And I feel like it's gonna be the longest 6 months of my entire life, but what can you do about it? So yeah, that's the BS that happened at Salt Lake City, and somehow I get penalized for it 6 weeks later, or 6 months later. But luckily, I was still able to go to regionals, like let's say the one in San Antonio. I was still able to go to nationals, so that was great. I am at least, you know, glad that I was able to do that. So that's it, guys. I hope this, you know, erases some of you guys' doubts, because when people see somebody's on the suspended players list, they see that player is like some dishonest player and all that stuff. But sometimes things just happen and all that stuff. Like not everybody in the Yu-Gi-Oh community is a decent person. A lot of people will do whatever it takes to win, and that's what I've noticed. And I just fell victim to that. So, you know, it's whatever. That guy's getting banned too, guaranteed, and all that good stuff. So, and I'm still gonna continue creating my content. I may be down, but I am not out. So, thank you guys for being patient with me on this one. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.